Hello. Today I'm going to explain the third task type, which is called fixed work. For that, I have, as usual, one task, 4 days duration. I have here resource sheet, and I have John and Mary with 100% maximum units. I'm going to use here task usage. I'm going to use peak, and I'm going to details, and I have task form with work. Now, let me go through Excel. Here, I will assign John and Mary with 100%, and I will say that John needs to work 32 hours and Mary 16. So before that, when are you going to use fixed work task type? When you exactly know how many hours each resource is supposed to work on. So you don't care about how long it will be. You are not going to estimate how long it will be, what kind of efforts, by that I mean units, you are going to use. You know, first of all, the work which must be completed by particular resource. So I'm going to assign John and Mary, and I will going to assign them with 32 hours for John and 16 hours for Mary. So I'm going to say, okay, I will use fixed work, first of all. Okay, now I need John, as it says, 32 hours, and Mary here, okay, and Mary 16 hours. When I click on OK, you will see that both of them will use maximum available units, which is 100%. And that means that John is going to fulfill his 32 hours in 4 days, because duration of 4 days multiplied by 8 hours per day, multiplied by 100%, as it was clearly visible in this formula, leads to 4 days duration. And since Mary is going to work 100%, but she needs to fulfill 16 hours, and she's supposed to work 100% as well as John, she's going to fulfill her work in 2 days, particular 2 days here. But I'm going to change, and I will going to say, okay, but I want Mary to work 50% per day. Now I have, as I had in my previous examples with fixed units and fixed duration, I have John and Mary, which are supposed to work John's 100%, Mary 50%, and they are going to work 4 days. John 8 hours per day, Mary 4 hours per day. Now let's go through my examples. So since the work is fixed, let's say that I want to change John to work 50% per day and Mary 25. So I'm going to change units. If I go here and I say, okay, John is going to work 50% and Mary 25. Be aware that we are talking about fixed work. So John should fulfill his 32 hours. Mary as well. Those figures are fixed. And when I hit on OK, you will see that I will get duration 8 hours. Why? Because duration is 16 hours calculated by Mary, she is supposed to work 25%. 1 day is 8 hours. 25% of 8 hours is 2 hours per day. Since Mary should fulfill 16 hours and she is supposed to work 2 hours per day, she is going to work 8 days, as you can see here. On the other hand, John is going to fulfill, he should work 32 hours. Because he's supposed to work 50% per day, means 4 hours per day, 32 hours in total, divided by 4 hours per day, which is available for John to work, results the same as Mary, 8 days, but he is going to work 4 hours per day. Now, let me undo the thing. Okay, now I have the same thing as before, and let's go to third. Now, let's say that I have here a situation like here, okay? 4 days here, 100%, 50%, 32, 16, which you can see. And now I will say, okay, but I want the duration should be 2 days. Remember, those 32 hours and 16 hours are fixed. So what is going to change? I will click on OK. So those 32 hours and those 16 hours should be fulfilled in 2 days. So basically, John is going to work 16 hours per day and Mary is going to work 8 hours per day. So you can see that peak units, as is what explained in my previous example with fixed duration, the peak units were changed. So since John is supposed to work 32 hours, but his demand is that duration is 2 days, John is going to work 16 hours per day because he should be finished with those 32 hours in 2 days. 16 hours first day, 16 hours second day. On the other hand, Mary, she should work 100% 8 hours per day first day and second day because she should fulfill or finish her 16 hours in 2 days. Okay, now let me show you one thing more. And the last example. Not last, I have one more. Let's say that I will say that John and Mary, now I am going to change, you saw that when I change duration, peaks units were changed, when I change units, duration is changed. But what if I change work in fixed work task? So let's say I need John, I change my mind. John should work 40 hours. Mary should work 40 hours. According to formula, work is duration multiplied by units, or work is duration multiplied by peak units. What will change? Units or duration? As you can see in my example, duration. But when I click on OK here, I will put here for Mary to work 40 hours. And when I click on OK, you will see that John and Mary are they are having the same units, which are 100% for John and Mary 50%. But since they should work 40 hours, they are going to work. John 8 hours per day, so he will be finished in 5 days. Okay, because he is assigned with one maximum units, which is 100%, and that means 8 hours per day. On the other hand, Mary, she can work only 4 hours per day, but since she should work 40 hours divided by 4 hours per day results that Mary should work 10 days. So John is going to finish his part of work in 5 days because he is going to work 8 hours per day, and Mary is going to finish her work in 10 days because she is supposed to work 4 hours per day. And now one interesting thing to remember. I am now at the basic setup. So John, Mary, 32, 16, 100%, 50%. What if I, for some reason, say, I don't need Mary. I'm going to remove Mary. No matter why. Sorry, Mary is unavailable. Mary is sick. Mary left the company. So I want to erase, to remove Mary from a task. Be aware, before I do that, that total work for task is 48 hours. Why? 32 for John and 16 for Mary. When I remove Mary and I click on OK, Microsoft Project, since this is fixed work task, will assign those 16 hours to John. So John should work 48 hours. And since he's supposed to work 8 hours per day, duration will be increased. So instead of John finish his work in 4 days, and Mary as well, since John should work another 16 hours because Mary is gone, those 16 hours will be, let's say, effort for John. And since John can work 8 hours per day, those 8 hours from Monday and Tuesday for Mary is going to be on John here on Friday. Second 2 parts of 4 hours from Mary from Wednesday and Thursday is going to be on John to fulfill at Monday. Why? Because he can work as double as Mary can because he's 100% assigned. So when I remove Mary, remember, when you remove resource, the total work from that resource will be spread among other resources, which in my case is John here. So let me erase this. Let me click on OK, and you will see Mary is gone, 48 hours remains, but John will work longer, and duration has been changed. Hope this helps, and in my next video, I'm going to explain about more complicating thing, and this is effort-driven and non-effort-driven tasks. So until then, have a nice day.